I used to volunteer, but now I'm a member of staff. When I volunteered, I was involved quite heavily with the drama group, and that's continued as I've been working. So I've been in a couple of different productions that have happened here. I started volunteering a year ago because about 6 months prior to that, there was an event that the Booth Centre did in partnership with the Royal Exchange that I attended. And as part of the event, as well as kind of a workshop, which included Janine, the facilitator of the group here, I took part in that and really enjoyed it. As well as that, the play that the group had been working on was put on during the conference. So I went to see that as well, and I thought, what this group is doing are amazing. I really want to be involved with this, but unfortunately then I worked full time and couldn't be involved. So when I stopped doing that job, as soon as I could, I wanted to come and volunteer at the Booth Centre, and my sort of purpose for coming was to do the drama, and then I sort of broadened it out into other things later. I'd say I've always enjoyed them. I've always found them to be really interesting because a lot of stuff goes on downstairs in the centre. There's a lot of people who kind of need immediate help with urgent housing and benefits issues and things like that. So it can be quite hectic down there. And getting people upstairs into the drama sessions is a bit of a chance to kind of get them to play around a little bit. You might find someone who's kind of a bit quiet or a bit grumpy, or they don't really want to get involved, but then you start saying, well, we're not going to be doing some like great Shakespeare scene or something, we're just going to be listing, you know, different types of car, and they're like, ooh, I really want a Maserati. And then you've got them, and you can kind of take them with you on a little bit of a route into drama, sneakily get them to do drama. And people kind of start to take to it, which is really fun to watch. I find that quite inspiring. So yeah, I'd say that the sessions I've found it's really good that we can kind of meet people where they are in terms of how much involvement they want to have, what kind of thing they feel comfortable doing, but just kind of try and push them a little bit to do something that's a little bit out of their comfort zone maybe. Or on the other hand, if you've got people that are dead keen to kind of harness it and bring it together into a team of people that are going to put on a show. I'd say one of the nice things about it is the fact that it takes place over a number of weeks, and during the time that we spend devising, or most of it anyway, that sort of first period of playing around with different ideas, it could be a different group each week. There might be a few core people, but there'll also be maybe people that have never been in before, people that have been in once or twice, people who've not seen for years but they've come back that one day. Or so you get all kinds of different input into it, and things go in directions that you might not have anticipated. And then kind of over the weeks of different kind of briefs for that session of devising, so many different ideas will develop, and Janine will kind of pull out the ones that she thinks have got the most attention from people, or that have got the most kind of dramatic potential, I think, from what I can tell about what Janine does, and kind of put them together into something. And then she'll bring it back to the group and say, what do you think with this? Do we need to change it? Is it good? What parts are good? What parts need working on? And that sort of thing. So I think it's kind of, I really think that's a good thing, that it keeps being a two-way process until quite a late stage, because you know, when you're working with a group that might be quite chaotic, or might be kind of people coming in, people coming out, and who might have various different circumstances, it wouldn't work to sort of impose a script from week one and say you will always be this character with 20 lines, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next 8 weeks, or even shorter time than that. I'd say the first thing is to participate yourself, so not to kind of hold yourself back and think that you're not part of the group in some way. But then at the same time, it's a balance between that and kind of taking a bit of a facilitating or co-facilitating role and encouraging people to take part. So I remember when I first came, there was another volunteer who was more established, he'd been there for a while, and he would sort of join in the discussions, and I think, stop joining in the discussions, this is about the people that use the centre, but it's not, it's a co-production with everyone that's there. So, while obviously the most prominent voices should be the voices of the people who use the centre, because those are the people we're most trying to involve. The volunteers have got their stories, they've got their input as well, and yeah, I learned soon to be part of the group, and that worked really well. I think it's really important to have things that people can kind of, not only something to entertain you then and there, sort of a diversionary thing, for someone that's got 20 other chaotic things happening in their life and they need to get sorted out, but actually for 2 hours maybe I'll sit here and kind of take part in a few games and forget about it and enjoy that. As well as that, there's kind of no limit to the possibilities of what it can bring for people. So whether it's, well, I'm getting involved in the Streetwise show that's happening at Christmas, so you know, for the next few weeks I know every Wednesday morning I'll be at Streetwise and I'll have a great morning at Streetwise, because it's always a really positive thing for me, and I really enjoy getting involved. All the volunteers and the staff make me feel welcome, and I've got a group of friends that I do it with, and we'll work towards that Christmas show, so it's giving a bit of structure, but in a really positive way, and a sort of a chance for people to kind of vent and an outlet for their creativity. Or whether it's something even bigger than that, like, well, I'm thinking of a couple of people from the drama group who have gone on to appear as members of the community cast in productions at the Royal Exchange, you know, and want to take that as far as they can. I mean, the sky's the limit really for people that kind of get the bug here. And if they hadn't been able to do that, then they would have missed out on something that could be a huge part of their life. I mean, I can't talk about it as well as some people would be able to because I don't have that direct experience, but I feel as though people who've had to look after number one for years and have been in dire circumstances and have kind of feel like they've been reduced because of what's happened to them in a way, get a chance to kind of think out again and sort of that working together and coming up with ideas and getting to see something that you said be part of a show, and I don't know, there's definitely something there about kind of giving people the opportunity to kind of expand again and show what they can do and how far they can stretch. Like your quote from the play, music stretches me in all directions, so does drama. One thing comes to mind straight away. It wasn't in a session, it was to do with the project, weirdly. It was when we were sat here having the discussion and was it yourself was filming, and so that we were kind of between the two performances of the Imaginarium of Dr. Booth, and we were sort of evaluating backwards, but also we hadn't yet done the other two performances, one here and one at the Edge, and I thought, oh great, I've got loads of stuff to say about how great this project is, and you know, it'll be a really good chance for me to get my 2 cents in. I sort of was partly thinking, and then I just sat here and Janine asked questions and people answered, and then somebody else chimed in, and you know, someone else again, and Janine brought someone else into the discussion, and I thought, I'm not going to get a chance to say what I wanted to say, but that's fine, it's really good, because other people were saying, the things that other people were saying were so real and kind of from the heart, because we had that bond of having performed together, which there's nothing like in my experience. People were kind of being really honest about how they felt about the whole process. Everyone was involved, everyone was kind of saying stuff that was really meaningful, and I just remember thinking that I don't need to speak, there's no point in me trying to interject what I wanted to say, because, you know, the people who've got the most from this are talking, and that's quite right. I suppose my thoughts go straight away to the other end and say, well, theatre's for the rich, and you know, no matter how many £5 banquette tickets you could get at the Royal Exchange, the people who have only got £5 spare a month are probably not going to be there because they won't feel that it's for them, unless more is done about that, I suppose. and yeah, I think projects like this are really important for that. So not only the, which is something I didn't talk about before actually, not only the drama sessions that happen here, so the theatre kind of comes to us, but we go to the theatre and get to see, you know, Hamlet with Maxine Peake and Little Shop of Horrors, which everybody absolutely loved. Somebody was saying, could we do that here, which I think would be amazing. And get to feel like, yeah, I do go to the Royal Exchange and I am involved in what's happening in Manchester, because there is so much happening, but, you know, is it just happening for a certain class of person that's got that disposable income to go to the theatre and then the wine bar on a Saturday night, or, you know, that's the thing that kind of, that's where I would come from as well, as kind of someone from a middle class background, is that idea of theatre as kind of a posh thing, which I don't think is true at all, but a lot of people think, oh, that drama stuff, that theatre stuff, it's not for me, which needs to be challenged.